Hey guys and saber enthusiasts, only Alma here, and as per the title of this video, we'll be doing a quick review on this lightsaber. So what I have here is a converted slim Starkiller hilt. So as with every converted Starkiller, it started its life out as a Graflex or a replica of Graflex to an extent, right? So in order to explain this, I feel it's fair that we should go back to the history of this hilt. This hilt started its life out as a TCO model from AC Lightsaber. I purchased this hilt from Mr. Alan Chong. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you wish to see this saber in its original form. Actually, Mr. Alan has made a video on a demo video, on this hilt. So I purchased from him, I believe it was on March, and I kept it stocked for around 2 months. And yeah, after 2 months, I've decided to actually put some money into it and modify it to make it more interesting. Don't get me wrong, AC Lightsaber makes great hilts. For the price that is given, a Profi and NeoPixel combo it's a deal, right? But however, I felt that it's time for me to actually make it, uniquely mine, right? So after 2 months, I've done some self-learning and try to find out which installer is perfect for this hilt, for this commission. So I reached out to Bro Hadi Shazwan from Bubuk's Garage for him to actually commission this hilt. So originally I didn't want to actually do this major modification, some heavy modification. For example, this hilt, this shroud, which has been cut beautifully by Bro Hadi. A core fabric that was fabricated specifically for this hilt, as well as the crystal chamber and the chassis and electronic goodies, which we'll be getting into later on in this video, right? So yeah, once I've shipped it out to him, after, I believe it was after Eid al-Fitr, after the holidays, he received it, and the day after he got it, the internals and electronics, he told me that, we can do something with this, something interesting. He has this slim Starkiller grip lying around, so he said that, maybe we can do a converted Starkiller for a game. To which I said, yeah, sure, let's go ahead with the proposed plan, right? So fast forward 3 months, this is the result. Really nice. You can see that the crystal chamber here. This is actually a real quartz crystal provided by Bro Hadi. Really nice, right? So without further ado, let's actually get into the review. So let's start with the external first. Okay. The blade plug was purchased. I remember I purchased this from Saber Trio. The dark version brass plug. The brass dark edition blade plug from Saber Trio. If I can just remove this. Alright. Okay. The NeoPixel connector, not sure if you can see this. Yep. The NeoPixel connector, previously, when I purchased from AC Lightsaber, it was I believe it was a TCSS non-lit NPXL connector. So meaning to say that previously, this was, when you ignite the saber, if you do not connect the blade into the hilt, there will be no light emitted from this hilt whatsoever. However, I felt that in part from this since we're doing this modification, might as well purchase the Elite PCB from stock. So this is a stock V3 short pin PCB. So even without a blade, when you turn on the saber, it will light nevertheless. So this blade plug is actually hollow. There's no PCB board whatsoever. If you do this, if you purchase this and use a non-lit standard MTXL connector, it will not light this blade plug, right? So since you have these LEDs inside here, right, you can actually light this without a PCB board, right? So it's from stock V3. I'll be explaining where I got these components from, if in case you all are interested in purchasing some components for your lightsaber. Okay. So next thing is the bunny ears. The bunny ears are actually custom made by Bubuk's Garage for this hilt specifically. As I mentioned before, it was a bit of a chunky boy previously for this hilt, the TCO model. It was quite chunky, it was quite thick, although I understand the merit behind it. Mr. Allen wanted, if you guys wish to actually hook this on your belt, sort of like a makeshift cover clip here. Okay, so it would be thick, it would be quite thick, and you will hook a clip onto one of the bunny ears there. So that was the merit behind it. Okay, but since we are converting this entirely, it will look kind of awkward on a Starkiller hilt. So Bro Hadi went out of his way to actually make a custom bunny ear for this. This is actually made from steel. Okay, what is this? This is the thumb screw. Yeah, it's like a thumb screw. Yeah, this is a thumb screw here. The this is actually 3D printed from resin. Right, it looks really nice. Looks really detailed. Right, it looks, yeah. So this is actually 3D printed. The control box was provided by Bro Hadi. It has these brass, the tactile switches with it. I'm not sure if you can hear it. Yeah, so these are tactile switches. This has a nice feel for me. This has a nice feel to it compared to the AV switches that I'm previously accustomed to, because you feel the response with these tactile buttons, right? What else? Yeah, the shroud here. The shroud here was actually the core and the shroud, the internal diameters of the shroud, if you see, it has been bored out, right? So in order to do this, Bro Hadi sent this hilt out to a machinist. I believe they have a shop in Subang Jaya, in Sunway, yeah. So he sent this hilt out to a machinist to have a core fabricated, as well as to bore out the internal diameters of the shroud. So you can see that it's quite thin compared to the actual diameter if you see in the top part of the shroud. There's a diameter difference here. Okay, so the core has been fabricated there, as well as the modifications on the shroud. And as soon as it has been made and done, it has been shipped out again to Bro Hadi, where he has cut this entire part of the shroud out and fit this crystal chamber, which is 3D printed, by the way. Even if it's 3D printed, the details are really impressive, by the way. Really nice, and it's quite sturdy. Okay, so yeah, that's the upper part done, and now we move on to the bottom part of this hilt. So this is a slim Starkiller grip here. You can see that this copper is not painted actually. It's actually from copper tape. Right? It looks really nice. Nicely done. I've seen other installers do this. For example, Smuggler's Outpost. I've seen an example of their Starkiller hilts where they use copper tape to actually mimic this copper paint that you would find in a TFU Starkiller hilt. It looks really nice, nicely done, right? So the cover tech is actually 3D printed. Looks really nice. However, I have several other cover techs here that I've purchased from a website that I've also purchased this stock V3 from. Okay, so yeah, it looks really nice. It is 3D printed, although this other cover tech that I've purchased are made from metal. For example, let me just bring out the other one. Okay, right. For example, this is made out of brass. This is anodized aluminum, and this is aluminum, the normal version. So these three can actually be interchanged with this cover tech wheel. So it's really nice, right? Okay, what else? Yeah. So the paint itself here, this is actual paint, and it has been weathered to an extent. You can see here it's quite weathered. Of course, when you're dealing with a Starkiller hilt, it looks best to actually have it weathered, right? Since Starkiller in the TFU game, he has actually made his lightsaber through the scraps that he's able to salvage. So yeah, this is a very very hardcore way of actually fabricating your lightsaber. So this is like almost straight. You could say that it's almost true to the law of the TFU game. And yeah, I think. Oh, another thing. If you would watch the TCO hilt from Mr. Allen, the demo video, you would know that this segment here is actually there's no holes here. all pins. So what Bro Hadi did was he did some Dremel work and actually Dremeled some holes here to fit a brass pin to look more like a Graflex, right, for the Starkiller hilt. I know that it's not quite true to the law. If memory serves me right, there's only 2 brass pins for a Starkiller hilt, right? But nevertheless, we gone ahead and did the entire thing, right? So yeah, I guess that's it for the exterior part for this hilt. Now we'll move on to the actual chassis and electronics, right? All right. Okay. So the chassis itself is also painted, really beautiful from Bro Hadi. This is an OLED module that I've purchased from the Saber Armory, which is the same website that I've purchased the CoverTech wheels, as well as all the components that I've purchased electronically here. I've purchased from the Saber Armory, which I feel that, bit of a side note here, which I feel that is the most feasible way if you wish to purchase some accessories or electronics for your lightsaber. It's based in the UK. Carl Jeromy, the proprietor for the Kia Sabers and TSA, the Saber Armory, he's really prompt, a really great guy, really a man of his work, and he will actually ship the items the same day as you have purchased it, right? But these are the components and accessories. If you purchase hilts from them, they may have some sort of lead time to it, right? But other than that, really quick shipping from them. I actually received all of these items, or the accessories I purchased. I purchased from them last week, and I've received from them yesterday. So really fast. UK to Malaysia in 6 days. So yeah, really fast. The speakers, I swapped the 28mm speaker that was... let me get this out of the way. I've actually asked Bro Hadi to swap out the 28mm high bass generic speakers that I've originally received from Mr. Allen. It gets the job done, really nice. However, I felt that I want something that has more clarity, a bit more punchier, and a bit more louder, without actually sacrificing the quality of the volume. The quality of the sound itself, right? So this is actually a Smuggler's Outpost 28mm Elite speaker, really loud. I believe the config settings for this is 1700, and even then it's really loud, right? It gets the job done and really satisfied. This is from Smuggler's Outpost, but I've purchased this from the Saber Armory as well. Yeah, so Smuggler's Outpost is actually an American company. It was co-founded by Albert Flores and Jeremy Puckett, if I'm not mistaken, of Solo Sabers. So really nice product from them. What else? Oh yeah, this chassis is actually intertwined with a J-lock system. In case you're wondering, this is installed with a Profi V2.2, but you can't see any board here. This is because the board is actually up here. Right. In order to access it, you need to actually unlock it and remove the chassis entirely. So this is actually a removable chassis. However, I felt that when I first received it, I'm not actually comfortable in actually using that, because you're dealing with a lot of electronics here. So you have to be very careful when removing and inserting this back, because this is actually connected with a stock rotary 2-button PCB here. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I'm afraid I would mess something up along the way. So I've already tried removing and inserting it back again for like 2 times now, and even then I feel I feel sort of uncomfortable in actually, accessing the Profi board as of now. The kill switch is actually up here as well, and yeah, as of now I feel in order to actually just close the entire hilt, the entire lightsaber, I would just rather be more comfortable in just removing the battery entirely. Right. Okay. So enough talking. I believe, yeah, that's it with the actual hilt itself. Right. So without further ado, let's throw a battery in this and see how it runs. Right. This is actually a Keep Power 18650 P1831R and P1830R. If you're in Malaysia, I recommend you purchase this as well, as this is the gold standard for NeoPixel lightsaber. You can use other batteries, for example, Clarus battery. I've seen Bro Hadi actually use this sort of battery from Clarus. It's in 3500 mAh with a discharge rate of 10 amps, right? However, I felt that since I'm dealing with a lot of electronics, such as a crystal chamber, an OLED module, as well as a lit PCB, I'm more comfortable actually using a 15 amp discharge rate. But rule of thumb is you need to use a high discharge rate for a NeoPixel, or else you won't run it properly, right? So yeah, let's throw a battery in this. Make sure you have the correct terminals when you enter this, when you insert this. Spring sides are negative. Alright, so let me just put this one here. Super loud, really loud. Even the boot, volume, the boot sound is quite loud. You can see that it's sort of doing something here. Let me see if you can focus this. Yeah, you can't. Wait. Nah. Let me just remove it. Okay. You can see, there's the kyber crystal. This is actually in sort of like a welcome animation once you boot this up. Okay. Let's just put the grips in here. Okay, sorry about that. There's some. I think my phone just ran out of battery just now, but yeah. Nevertheless, yeah, we continue on with this review. Okay. You can see while the lightsaber has. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry. Since this has a gesture control feature, so yeah, it will ignite accidentally with the slightest movement. Yeah, since you can see that the lightsaber isn't ignited yet, however, you can see that the crystal is doing its own animation. I believe it's because Brohadi has wired it independently from the main blade. That's why you can have this sort of different animations with the main blade itself. So yeah. Let's change to a different sound font, since I believe this is a Starkiller font as well.
You could never see me.
So this is the Secret Apprentice from Kyberphonics. Really nice hilt. Really nice sound font. It is a Starkiller sound font from Kyberphonics. So a really great sound font, and the accent swing is great as well. Let me show you. LEDs are the LEDs are firing up, and if you put the blade block in, you can see the blade block's really bright. Really nice. Okay, so that's the Kyberphonic Secret Apprentice comes with 3 sound fonts within that package. So this is the Sith version of the Secret Apprentice.
I let you live.
This is the Jedi version for the Secret Apprentice, if I'm not mistaken. This might be the Force Unleashed Part 2, since I've said that there are 3 sound fonts for this one sound font package. So yeah. See, there's the blue kyber crystal, sort of like a pulsing kyber crystal. Looks really nice. Okay.
Anakin Skywalker.
This is the Chosen One sound font from K-Sith. I purchased this mainly because K-Sith, for me, the K-Sith accent swing accents. It's really, really nice. Right. See. The stronger you swing, you can hear the accent swing. Really nice.
Darth Vader.
Now this is the K-Sith Chosen One villain version. This is, you can see Anakin's descent to the dark side. I like this sound font mainly because of this feature. That's the sound of younglings being slaughtered by Anakin. Really dark, but if you're a prequel fan, you find that meme really hilarious. Really nice. Yeah, so there are a lot of other sound fonts in this hilt. For example, the Coda and Decay. I think I'll show that. This is the last sound font I think I'll be showing. This is the battle.
I've been waiting for it. Starkiller.
This is Coda from Grayscale Fonts. Now, Grayscale Fonts, their sound fonts aren't canon, but their sound fonts, it actually just highlights the connection of the lightsaber and the user. So this is Coda, but really nice sound font. I think I'll show you that. Really nice, especially if you have a blade here. I won't be showing the blade this video because I don't have this short show blade. I have this sort of long 32-inch blade, so it won't be actually suitable for this demonstration. But if you place a blade here, you would see that it will slowly ignite, and it's really, really nice. This is Coda. And this is one of my favorite sound fonts from the Grayscale Fonts. This is Decay. It has a long pre-on sound, but it's really epic. Crazy, really nice. Shout out to GSF. Shout out to Grayscale Fonts, K-Sith, Kyberphonics, as well as custom Syndicate Relic sound fonts. Their sound fonts are really top-notch, top-tier, and yeah, I think that's it for this hilt. Right now, in terms of the installation itself, as I mentioned before, this was installed by Bro Hadi Shazwan. Really great guy, a DIY-centric guy. You can see from this hilt, he has done much of this installation by himself. The bunny ears, the control box, the crystal chamber, even the paintings and everything he has done by himself. So a really great guy. He caters to what you need, basically, based on the budget that you have, right? For example, my budget isn't that high. My budget is kind of tight, so in order to alleviate that problem, as well as to save some time, the crystal chamber is actually 3D printed, as opposed to you get with, metal crystal chambers. They look nice, but in terms of time as well as cost, this is a more feasible option. The grips are actually 3D printed itself as well, but it's sturdy. It looks really nice. You can see the weathering job. I don't think the camera does it justice, but it looks really, really nice. I just received this today. I might be actually learning some basic Profi programming, but once I've gotten the hang of it, I may be releasing a video on that, but in Malay. I feel that in terms of the lightsaber community, there's an abundant of English tutorials. However, I feel that in terms of Malay, there is a severe lack of videos that will help specifically the Malaysians or Malayan speakers in this hobby, right? Yeah, overall I think that this is a really great hilt, a really sturdy one. However, there are some things that I have to get accustomed to. For example, the chassis itself. I really need to actually take my time and actually get to know this hilt better. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. May the force be with you, and yeah, have a great day. See ya.